And we really start. What? We are going to start a journey to inaugurate our English language workshop. You all know that the COSMO school is an English version school, so our communication language should be English. But are you really doing so? Not really. Why? I think two reasons that we are not using English in our school or in communicating ourselves. The first reason may be we are not used to. It's not true that we don't understand English or we can't speak English. It's not true. The reason should be or could be we are not used to speaking English. And when it needs, we approaches a situation we need to speak English, we feel inhibition. Alright? We feel inhibition to speak English. And that is the main reason. So we avoid the situation, we don't speak English. And another reason could be we don't need actually. Because we live in Bangladesh and this country is not a multilingual country, and here speaking Bangla is enough to communicate with every person. So we don't need to, we never had this crying need to speak, to communicate with someone in English. These are two reasons. But we should, because what I told you, this is an English version school and this should run accordingly. And how to start and why to start. So I'm giving you some reasons why we should start English as our communicative tools. The reasons are, first, COSMO school that I have told. COSMO school is an English version school, right? And then another reason is every of the countries have entered into the global village, and which is a basic thing that if we want to really need to communicate with other people, other country people, then we must use English. That's the common language, commonest language we need to use. And third reason is English, we learn English from our childhood, from our beginning, our school. We learn English, but the English, how we learn, just to get this, to get the knowledge. But a language always means that that's not a thing to learn. It's a thing to work with. So language is not something you learn only. It's something that you do. So it's working based. And the other reason, the last reason is English proficiency is considered a quality or sometimes sign of education in our society. So we can't avoid this. And for these reasons, we should start practicing English in our daily lives. And then we are going to start, and we have decided that this is English language workshop. What we name this? We term this session English language workshop. Why so? Because workshop means the participants work. So we all agree with participants work. And if this is a seminar or English language class, the participants may not work with us. But we name this English language workshop because I just said that English or any language is something that we work with. So we named this English language workshop. Here we all will participate and will work together. Certainly we'll be guided by some of our English teachers, but we need to participate actively. And our plan is mainly motivation. Just mainly motivation. And then breaking ice of inhibition. That is all. We feel inhibited when we go for speaking. So these two things. And you all agree with me, suppose this session, weekly 40 minutes or 45 minutes cannot be enough to learn a language. And generally we don't need to learn this language from the beginning. We already know. And what do we want? We want from today onward, from just today onwards, the teachers will speak English. Is this very difficult for us? No, certainly not, because we can do this. And if we see the video that we have just seen, we understand that where we are and what we should do. And if you just go to India, they will say many people, the drivers, sometimes the rickshaw pullers, they are fluent in English. So that's a shame for us that we can't do this. And sometimes we say reporters interviewing foreign peoples and they speak Bangla. This is so disgusting, so messy thing with us. So what we can do from today onward, we just request all the teachers that our communicative language, we sit together, we always gossip, sometimes we gossip or talk ourselves. Can we do this in English? Is this possible? We start doing this in English. Can we? So if we just consider this total office time, in the total office time, as long as we are here, if we speak English, then that will be effective for practicing this language. This 30 minutes or 40 minutes can never be enough that we get the proficiency in English. This is just, I told you, that breaking the ice of inhibition that we feel always. So some of us already capable of lecturing or teaching students in English already. I request you who are capable, just do this. Just keep up doing this. Go to your classroom and lecture or teach the student in English. And the others, if you think that you need time, yes, okay, you take time. But the plan should be by the as a 2021, it's next 10 months we have. By this time, we should be capable of lecturing or teaching students in English in the next year. That should be our target. And before that, the time we are getting, we can use for our personal practice, conversation. And this session will just be motivating for that. And our English teachers, 3 English teachers are with us. They will set the program and help us. And as I told you, this will be a program where we all will work. So we need to cooperate them fully. 2 ways we need to cooperate them. One, that is we just start speaking. Just need to start speaking. Maybe initially we're not going to do good, but just start. After a month, you will see the change within you. So that's the crucial issue. Another thing, when they arrange the program, the English teacher will arrange the program, will help them, will cooperate them. So then we'll learn. And another thing that I want to say you, that is, there's a proverb, hopefully you all heard that. You can take a horse to the pond, but you cannot make sure the horse drinks. Am I right? So we can arrange the program, and our English teachers are also preparing to help you accordingly. And just success will depend on you. Certainly depends on you. The more serious or more attentive you are, it will take less time to get the proficiency. It depends on totally you. We also teach students in the classroom with the same teacher, teaching in the same environment, but we know that all the students are not getting same thing. Some get better than others because some are more attentive, more serious. So same thing for us. If we are serious and if we take this, yes, I need to be proficient because I'm falling behind. If we just think this, then we'll be attentive and we'll be serious to do this. And another thing I want to say, just I was getting a video lecture on learning language. That was by Chris Lansdale so far. Chris Lansdale, famous English teacher worldwide. He was giving a lecture and I was listening so far. And the topic he lectured on was, can you learn a language in 6 months? He ensured that giving a challenge that this is possible for people, even a new learner, even a beginner, they can start to learn a language, and this is possible by 6 months. Though I think this is very difficult for most of us, but he says this is possible. There he has given some principles and action for this success. If someone wants this success, I mean, want to learn language completely, not only a few sentences or few writing, complete language, so that the person can communicate with other people fluently. And 6 months. He's given us some suggestions, some are principles. So I'm going to mention you the principles. The first one is relevance or requirements. The first principle is relevance or requirements. You already know that the knowledge we need, we learn. That we feel that I need this. Why I need this? Maybe that's for our survival. Suppose a virus spreading now and scientists are trying desperately to discover the remedy from this. Because now people need this for their survival. Whenever this situation comes, we people learn. So relevance is the condition. The requirements is the important. We people live in Bangladesh. Normally we think that I don't need English because I can speak, I can hear. With all the people I can communicate with my language, Bangla. It's not required. So this is the problem, and this is the main principle, that when we people need to learn a language in a short time, we need to fill the requirements. And this may be for our survival, maybe for our success, our goals, and etc. So that we should need to feel first, that this is relevant. Second principle, what he told there, using a language as communicative tool from the day one. We normally learn a different language from our language. We basically translate the language and try to get the other language. But basically when we began as a kid, we didn't translate, we didn't have any language, any knowledge of other language. We just got the sense. So his suggestion is, or the principle of learning language is, from the day one. If you just start learning a Chinese language today, and from the day one, you will start the language to communicate with other people. Just not reading, just not writing. Start communicating with, from the day one, he emphasizes there. So that's second principle. Unless you use your language, English, to communicate with other people, you will not learn that. This is principle. And third principle is given, understanding the message first before you get the language. That the kids do. They just get the message. What you say in different language, they record the sound and get the message. What does it mean? And accordingly he get the sense and get the sense of the language. So that we should also do. So when you listen something, when you communicate with other people, look, you heard that some uneducated people was talking there. They do the same. They even don't know the word meaning, but they get the sense of what does the sentence mean, what is telling. They know its meaning, but that's not exactly translation. So that is the condition. When we'll communicate with other people, we need to focus on the message, not on the language first. Message. And fourth principle is physiological training. This is actually physical matter. Language is what I told, that language is not something to learn only. It's something to do, which means physically do. We work, we do physically. So that is important. Basically this focusing on speaking. We need to speak. When you speak, then probably we are going to learn. And if we don't speak, close your mouth. From class 1 to university level, there are many people have been learning English, but they can't speak. They're not fluent because they never use their mouth. So this is something we need to do, and that we should do. Number 5 is psychophysical state. This is very important. Psychophysical state is not only important for us, it's also we can apply for our children. How do you feel? That matters most. When you sit in a classroom and you are listening to the lecture, but you are not feeling good, so your possibility of learning is very poor. So this is important. When we decide that I'm going to learn this, we need to feel happy, relax, happy and relax. These are the conditions for learning. We can absorb more and more when we are comfortable and we are happy. When you have stress, then you're possibly losing things. And when we learn a language, then there are many things. There's so many vocabulary there, and you may not expect that you're learning all the things together. It's not possible. Suppose you're watching a movie or a documentary. Do you understand all of them? Certainly not. So there he suggested that tolerance of ambiguity. What he told that tolerance of ambiguity, which means that you are watching a movie, but you are not understanding everything, but you can guess that this could be this, and go on. Don't stop. When you're reading a book, you may not understand everything written in the book. Something you understand, but go on with this. This is why the beginners, even in any language, they do like this. So we should do like this. So this is called tolerance of ambiguity that we should have. And if we get the sense, we are prepared accordingly, then we'll have less stress that I'm not understanding, I'm not doing good. No, you are doing good, because this happened bit by bit, slowly, not all together. In few days you can progress. It should have this tolerance. And then he suggested some actions. The actions are few. The number one is listen a lot. What he suggested, listen a lot. We learn language by reading first in our country, but the main action is listening. We learn Bangla by listening. Am I right? How do you learn Bangla? Listening. When we were kids, then we just listened to our parents. Parents used to talk to us some small words, small sentences, and we recorded the words, and accordingly we learned language, Bangla, which is here. And when you start listening, listen, then our brain automatically absorbs the language. And the more you listen, the more your brain will absorb language, and accordingly you learn. So this is first way of learning language that many of us don't know. Listening is the main way of learning. Next is make various simple sentences when you are alone. When you are alone, suppose I determine that I'm going to learn fluency in English, good level of language. Then what you need to do, that you always speak, listen many things, many sentences we know in Bangla, and accordingly we should make sentences in English. Many of the sentences in English. And when we even I don't need, I'm not talking to you, I'm alone. Maybe I'm sitting somewhere, but just you get a sentence, and what is in English. So this is thinking in English, making sentences as many as possible. This is important fact, because when we people talk, we don't make sentences instantly. We just know these are this. I mean, these are ready to be delivered. There's the sentences in Bangla, in our language. Do you think what I am going to say? No, we never do this. We just spontaneously speak. And English or any language should be like this. You should not wait and translate and then you deliver. That's not good way of speaking to other people. So there we need to be ready beforehand. How? When we are alone, we need to make very simple sentences. Then another thing is talk yourself when you're alone. And some people stand before a mirror and talk themselves. That's the good way. And I did this. In my life, I did a lot when I was alone. Somebody around me, my wife, several times asked me, what you are saying? So this happened. Maybe some people think that this is a crazy person or insane. Doesn't matter what people say. Or you can avoid situation when you're alone, sitting alone, and then you talk yourself. This is important. And then shadow a native speaker. Shadowing. This is called shadowing. Shadowing is when we're listening. The first one was listening. When we listen to someone, we can repeat that and we talk with the person again. Simultaneously, we need to talk with the person. And that is a good way of learning language, correct language. Learning correct language, that's a good way. And another last point is avoid translating as much as possible. That normally we do. We just try to translate and then we speak. if you get this habit, you will never be fluent. You will take long time to be fluent in your other language, because you're translating, and that always puts a pressure on your brain, because you're translating, and that takes time and putting a pressure. So after you talk to someone for several minutes or time, you will feel tired. Let's stop this and start Bangla now. So that will happen. That will happen when we go for translating. So better, we need to make some ready-made sentences, and they mean something. We know what they mean, and meaning I mean sense or message, and the sentences. They should be ready in our brain, and accordingly we'll deliver. And that is the good way of being fluent in English. So these are from me. I just request you all, you will fill the requirements first. That was the main thing. You fill the requirements that we people are teachers, and we should be capable of having good command in English, very good command in English, both in we focus here communication, but basically we teach, and that way in English, all the books written in English, and we write, we take copies, we make question, there proficiency is required, and that is a long process. That type of proficiency is long process. But speaking and communicating, and that may not take long time. Just I believe 1 month could be enough to be fluent, because we all study in English and we all know. So just breaking the ice, breaking our inhibition, and there we can start here. So do you agree that we should start speaking English when you communicate with us? That's my question. Are you ready to communicate with other people around you in English? Do you really feel this? So can we start this from today onward? Or do you need any more preparation, or say let's start from next Sunday? Do we? No. So I think we are ready, because we don't need anything but our decision. Just we decide. Yes, let's start. Let's start from today. So now I've talked much, I think, already. I'm requesting our English teacher, and they want to say something. Tania ma'am, request Tania ma'am how she's gonna plan and help us. Please come on. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.